Hey, hi guys. So welcome to third episode of Bytes and Beyond. So we have here today Tanmay, who is a YouTuber, entrepreneur, data engineer, data analyst in Ireland. So I think we have lots to talk about Tanmay's journey and beyond. So I would say, on behalf of everyone, I would say welcome Tanmay to the show and hope you're doing well. Is there anything else did I miss in the introduction?
I think you just over narrated the stuff. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting. It's super cool when you get invited on a podcast. Because I have been doing myself like, okay, why isn't someone inviting me? I have so much to talk about. Thank you so much, Tom.
That's cool. So I'll start from first. Like, I just wanted to understand. Let's go from the journey. Like, what are you doing back in home? Like, just give me your schooling and colleging. What was happening
Yes.
there?
So, like, I did until 12th in a basic like SSC and then HSC board and all that. After that, obviously everyone says go for computer engineering. So I went for computer engineering. But to be honest, that was my decision. It was not that uh, like typical Indian thing that kuch bhi nahi hai to go for engineering.
Hmm.
Um, so it was my decision because I was much more inclined towards technical stuff, coding and all
Yeah.
that. So I decided to go for that. Yeah, so did computer engineering for like 4 years and then got fascinated actually in second year or around like first second year. I was like fascinated about the culture of moving abroad, and I wasn't sure about like, do I need to study abroad or what the scenario is, but I was always excited that being a techie person, US, Silicon Valley, Bay Area is something where you
Everyone's
have to,
dream.
yeah, it's something where you have to be. And then I was like,
Hmm.
okay, that's cool. And I was actually, I just missed one bit.
Yeah.
During my 11th, 12th, I was also looking for that SAT exam and all that for doing
Hmm.
graduate program in US. But the expenses were pretty high. I was like, can't go for that, can't afford that. So
Hmm.
I was like, okay, let's do computer science and everything here itself
Yeah.
in India. I did that, and then again that spark came up. Okay, why not? Let's try for masters now in US. And I was like, okay, let's go. But then I checked the prices again. It was pretty expensive. But actually, I was doing an internship with one of my. I'm not sure if I can talk, but yeah, I don't take the name. I won't take the names. Doing an internship back in US, like the company was based, like it was a startup. It was based in Portland. Um, and so that person recommended me that, bro, if you want to go for masters and all, you can stay in the company, and if maybe I would like the company will grow because it was a very early stage. I was the fourth employee. It was very early stage
Ah,
startup.
okay. Yeah.
So he said that, you know what, like you work here and everything, and then like I'll help you do that. But the work was very hectic, and because I had to like manage US time zone, so in the day do the college and in the night do the work, it
Hmm.
was pretty hectic. And back then I was doing freelancing myself, like website development and software development and all that. So I was running like kind of an agency of 3 4 people, I guess. And then I was like, okay, I can't do both, so let's drop the internship because I was earning more on the freelancing side.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's the thing. And then finally, eventually, a senior came. He went to UK, and then I got in touch with him. I was like, "How is life in UK?" Because Europe was never
Hmm.
part of the thing. It was always US. So he said it's pretty good and all that. But he warned me that, bro, UK, the situation is not great at the
Hmm.
moment. Like, okay, fine. Then what are the options? Then he recommended check Ireland because even that's good. Then I was like, okay, fine, I'll check that. So Europe was one of the option, and then one of my friends' brother was in Australia. So
Hmm.
I just like pinged him. I was like, bro, what's the scene in Australia? Even he said that it's good at the moment, but then it is a 2 years course, and I don't wanted to like invest 2 whole years in doing a master's because I've already done like 4 years of undergraduate. So then that really boils down to only Europe, UK, Ireland. So I was like, okay, let's go for that. And then finally chose Ireland over European countries because see, it's not mandatory to learn different language. Like if you are in Germany, you don't have to speak German. But
Hmm.
I mean, just imagine like you are living in, let's say I'm from Pune. if you're living
Yeah.
in Pune and you don't, if you speak Marathi, how easy life will be for you. And if you don't speak Marathi, it's not point, right?
It's just good to be with the people, basically.
Exactly. So I was like, I don't want to learn a new language right now. So then UK and Ireland were the only English speaking countries. So I was like, let's go to Ireland because they have big companies as well. Like even they have the big companies. So yeah, that's
Wow.
how this was the
That's
whole.
how you have landed to
Yeah,
Ireland. That's
yeah,
how you're saying. Wow. So
yeah,
you have done quite a bit of research, we can say then. Like you have tried to work for, like, try to understand what's happening in other countries before
yeah,
you
yeah.
decided. So how do you feel now with that choice? Now I'm assuming you'd have been here for 3 years, 4 years,
Yeah, two, two point.
two plus.
Yeah, two plus. I think it's pretty good. I mean, well, one thing I regret was not researching about the weather.
I think we both fall in the same part of that. So.
Yeah. I was like, okay, everything is good, everything is fine, but man, it rains like cats and dogs. Like,
Uh,
what? Seriously?
that's true. That's true.
And, yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
someone who hates rain. Like, seriously.
Oh.
And I came to a country, like, especially I'm on the west coast, and the most it rains in Ireland is the west coast. I was like,
Oh.
wow, seriously.
Just correct me wrong. Like, I'm a bit confused with the geography. I've
Mhm.
been to the UK part of Ireland. I think it's called North
Northern
Ireland, or
Ireland. Yeah.
yeah. So, like, is that something similar to the south side, or is the weather going to be more worse than actually north, or is
Um,
it like?
Actually, it's much better if you go to the Dublin side and or, like
Hmm.
it's at least stable.
Okay.
It might be gloomy and everything, but it won't rain. It won't be windy.
Hmm.
Whereas we are on, like, I'm on the west coast where it is like the wild Atlantic Bay. The weather crazy. Like we recently had that storm, right, Yvonne, and it literally uh like it made a huge damage. All the trees were down. The bus stops were just uh
Oh.
like everything was crazy. We didn't had
Good.
electricity for a week. I mean, not us, but neighborhood.
The-
There
yeah.
was no
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Everything was down literally for a week. It was
Whoa.
so crazy.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. Okay. I've
yeah,
heard of that, but
yeah, because the West Coast is the first one who gets impacted, and then everything travels through Ireland, then UK, then France, and all that.
Ah, yeah, of course. Like
Yeah,
it starts from
yeah,
the top,
exactly. Like
basically.
from here, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. And okay, now coming from like a school and you have come to this college in
Mhm,
Ireland, so
mhm.
university in Ireland. How did you feel the transition, like in terms of culture? I know education, everyone go who comes out from the country, it's a huge thing.
Yeah,
But in terms of culture, that's another aspect no one looks into.
true.
Like everyone talks about education and that it's all available internet, all good. But what about the culture transition you have seen?
Um, I think for me, the Irish culture kind of resonates with Indian culture. I mean,
Hmm.
maybe like you can point out, bro, they drink, but
Yeah.
other than that, I feel they are also like very community driven people. During Christmas, everyone, like every person prefers to be back with their family. Like we have Diwali, so mostly they also prefer going back and visiting their parents and everything. And they find it like they have this sense of responsibility about their for their parents and stuff. Or maybe I have been in and around people who have the same values. I'm not sure, and that's categorizing it. But I think we resemble a lot in terms of culture. Uh, Second is this daylight saving. I mean, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
Why do
that's
you
a
need to go
totally new
back 1 hour
concept.
and go forward 1 hour? And even winter time is crazy. It's the sun sets at like 3, 4 p.m. in the evening and rise around
Hmm.
9 or 10 a.m., which is crazy because then your body clock is set to that and all that. One, I think the best thing which I have observed is part time. So when you're working part time, let's say you're working in McDonald's in
Hmm.
Ireland, and let's say you are like a businessman or someone came in and you're serving them. The guy, the businessman who has the money and all that will treat the person as like with the same respect and everything. Most of them,
Hmm.
I I'm being very like open for criticism speaking this on camera, but back in India, if you are working at McDonald's, I don't think that is something which your parents will be okay with.
Hmm.
I mean, like,
There's a taboo there, basically. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a different, like the perspective changes right away.
Mm. Yeah.
There's a very broad line difference or between the rich and the poor, um, which reflects in the way people give respect to each other. Even though I'm a businessman, like for example, even though I would have been a very successful businessman here in Ireland, there would be time during I was like 16 years or something,
Mm.
people like he or she would have done a part time somewhere.
Okay.
That's something which makes or keeps them humble. Okay, there are exceptions. Like there would be people who are not humble. There's just,
Yeah.
but most of them are very humble in that sense, showing respect to each other,
Hmm.
irrespective how much you're earning, irrespective what job you're doing.
I think that I relate to that completely. And the other fact I want to talk about is I know when we come to this new country, like whomever I have spoken to,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about like they kind of get depressed in the first phase, like because they don't meet people and they don't know whether what to talk, and they kind of overthink themselves and say, let me just go join only Indian people, like so that at least you're open to them. And sometimes those people don't mingle with you and all these things. Like, did you go through any of these challenges?
Yeah, but so when I came here, luckily I was not, I mean, luckily I found a house like within 2 years. There's a housing
Hmm.
crisis going on in Ireland where getting a accommodation is very difficult. So basically, I had nothing for the first 2 weeks. I was staying in an hostel with a bunk bed and everything. Luckily, the guy who was like on the bunk bed on the top, he was Indian. He started the conversation, and that's how
Yeah.
like I started initially with him being the only person I know. And then
Hmm.
because it was a hostel, there were people from every other nationality because it was summertime and people came as tourists. And here people usually prefer staying in an hostel rather than like hotel or something, because that's something easy, and anyways you're traveling, so you will be outdoors instead of you'll just come back and crash. That's it.
Yeah.
So I got to know a lot of people. My like most of them were like Spanish or Polish, or like I had a very
That was, yeah.
diverse at the start itself. So I didn't really had that feeling. But also while coming here, it was my first flight and I had never experienced traveling in an like taking a flight or something. And it was my
Hmm.
first, that to an international flight for like 24-hour long journey in total, door to door. So I was like, okay. And I did not knew how to put on the seat belts and how to take it off and all that. I was so underconfident that I was afraid to get up from my seat and just ask for help.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
that, like my self confidence was here, literally very low.
Hmm.
But then
Yeah.
coming to the hostel, it was fairly fine. Then
Yeah.
I moved to a new house and I got to meet such like these guys were so wonderful. Like my housemates, they are like a married couple, and trust me, Sai, like I have never seen people like this. They're so selfless. They have helped me throughout, through and through the course, finding a partner, because the guy was computer science, like a software developer as well himself.
Hmm.
So he has helped me. Even one of my friend, like who used to visit and everything, they were very nice with them as well. Roommate issues are a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always there.
Like touch wood, I found them in the country, and literally it happened like my big brother and his wife
Hmm.
kind of thing. So that was the bond we shared, and that made me feel more comfortable about living in Ireland. And through
Hmm.
them, then I met a lot of people. Actually, I found the app, Meetup app, which I
Hmm.
used
Yeah.
to find out
Events
networking
and
events or even board game nights.
oh.
So I went there and made really, really good friends. Like, and those were, there was no Indian in the group. So it was all Irish or Spanish or Polish. Like two of my friends, one is from Spain and the other friend is from Poland.
Hmm.
Those were the guys who were like best friends. So it's basically like putting yourself out there. That's what I learned. Just go out there and just talk to people. By that you will develop a skill to talk to them. There would be 1% chance they will say, like, they might think, oh, this guy is crazy and all that. If you are dressing well, I think your audience is dressing well, selling
Hmm.
well, have good habits, are good hygiene. I don't think there no one will ever judge you, even if you fumble or anything.
Hmm.
So I think most of us feel this underconfidence because we think that we are not great at speaking in English.
That's true. Hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk slowly and everything. And it's okay if you fumble, it's fine. Like, how many times I have used filler words right in this conversation? It's fine, perfect. You're not delivering a keynote or something.
Yeah, that's cool. It's just a conversation. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll just tell you one story. Recently,
Yeah.
so there's no campus placements, right? You have to find your job on your own and by through networking, through LinkedIn and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So recently, I was following a person on like a startup person, and I wanted to
Hmm.
have a chat with the person, but I sent out the connection request and everything. Obviously, nothing came back. There was no response at all. And then there was this random meetup about blockchain and all that. And it was just here itself. So I was like, let's go down for that. Uh, well, if it was me back then, I wouldn't have signed up for that, meeting random people. I don't know anyone, meeting strangers and all that. So I was
Hmm.
like, okay, let's go there. I went there, met the people, and one of those, like actually two of those, are really good friends with the person whom I was trying to connect. And now they
Okay.
know me very well. And if I just ask them, hey, like, we had met, would you fancy introducing me to this person because I want to do so and so? I'm just one person away to chat with that person whom I was
Yeah.
chasing. So that's the power of networking, which I want to highlight. Basically, you are limiting your options.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Let's take Big Bang Theory example, right?
Yeah.
So these guys, Sheldon and all these guys, they
Mm-hmm.
just walk up to people and just comment random things.
Yeah. That's true.
And they still get to meet such good people. I know it's scripted and everything. They can't meet Elon Musk and all that,
Mhm.
but that is how it works
Yeah,
in the
that's
true
true.
sense.
That's true. I think those shows actually helped more people when they were trying to come to other countries.
Mm,
Like they have a kind of a perspective seeing those shows like this is what it is.
mm,
Well, of course, if you follow it blindly, you'll find the difference.
mm.
But I think for most of them, it actually helped them. Like for me personally, I understood, okay, you can actually say whatever you want without any problem. And those things I understood from friends. Like how did you land into this data? I understand that you said about in India you're doing your own web development and
Mhm,
then you had computer science background.
mhm.
Was this the like typical path? It just you landed into data analyst, or you could have actually gone to software industry also?
Yeah. Well, so I was open for everything. I just
Hmm.
wanted a
Okay.
job after 6 months of rejections. So yeah, I was open for like software engineering, data analysis, business analysis, because I my course was business analysis. And during the course, we had modules about data analysis, how things work, how you can gather uh, e-commerce data and derive your analysis. So I've
Hmm.
done multiple projects around it, and I was like fascinated by the stuff. Like, this seems interesting and everything. And that's when even ChatGPT came into picture around 22 December or 23
Yeah.
start. So I was like, oh, this is something cool. Like, this use case of using data and then training models and then giving you the exact answers which you are looking for. Like, it wasn't accurate back then, but look at it now. So I was like, oh, this is
Hmm.
something interesting. So I had done three options: software engineering, ML or AI stuff,
Yeah.
and then this data science, data side of things. Now, for the fact that data science is very difficult, like it's more technical, mathematical, and all that, I stick like the basic for data analysis is SQL, Python, which are so a fresher can at least get the foot into
Hmm.
the door. That's it. So I went to an event, and there I met the HR of the company which I'm currently working in, and
Okay.
then we talked about random topic. And then she said, like, we have an internship opportunity for data analysis. Do you fancy applying? I was like, yeah, sure. I was open for
Yeah.
anything. So I got in as an intern, and that's how I started with data analysis. Did it for 6 months, and they were happy with the performance and everything. So they were kind enough to offer me a full-time role. And that's how
Hmm.
then the journey started as a data analyst.
What do you concentrate currently on? Like what tech? What's your tech stack?
So mostly, like, we for the cloud we are using Azure. SQL is the primary thing.
Hmm.
Then we have Python to some extent.
Okay.
Sometimes, mostly if it is an API or something, then it is C# to deliver data across to someone like external stakeholders and something. So it is
Yeah.
mostly C#. Then extensively, if I would to point out, SQL and Azure, like mainly Azure
Hmm.
services. Like, there's this thing called Azure Data Factory, which is kind of like data engineering, where there are multiple, like, our data comes from multiple resources. It
Yeah.
can be on-prem for any other company, and we want that data. So as data is, it's a blend of data analyst as well as data engineer.
So did you find that has an advantage or a disadvantage having the tech stack already there?
For
Like,
someone
did
who's
it?
just starting out, I think it's fine because we
Mm,
ourselves don't know. Now, after like a year and a half, now I know what things are. It is good to have things there already. Then you
mm,
can just learn about it and then move on, and then learn about it and then move on, and something like, because there will be a learning curve. It won't be the case because you're joining. I joined as a fresher, so I had no experience
yeah,
about
yeah,
SQL. I had no corporate experience.
that's
So
true.
yeah, it was a learning curve for about like a year, and then
Mm,
for a few months it was like a plateau, and then again the learning curve started when the new project came in.
interesting. Like,
I also preferred doing things on my own, or just throwing myself. This is the problem.
yeah,
I don't know anything. Even you don't know anything. But this needs fixing. Do whatever
yeah,
and get it fixed.
yeah,
I love
that's it.
doing that. So because this opportunity came and I needed a job, so I took it. But the end goal would be just working in a startup. And I mean, even now, if I want to look for a job, I would usually prefer working in a startup. But my question, like, yeah, so I was just wondering, like, do you ever feel like, because see, even you don't know, even
Yeah.
there's no one to help you out, to guide you, okay, this is what you need to do, or you can follow at least these systems to solve a particular problem. So do you ever feel afraid on
Uh,
a job, or how is that?
do you mean like afraid trying new, or do you mean afraid I'll break it off?
Yeah, afraid break it off, or you might
Okay.
not be ever able to deliver it in time.
It depends upon the team whom you work.
Hmm.
If they understand from where you come, like I say very openly that I have not solved these problems before, but I think it will take 3 weeks for me to deliver. And there are times when it from 3 weeks it has gone to 6 weeks,
Okay. And then
and
how
the
do
team was
you
okay with that.
Okay, how is your debugging process? So, for example, let's say I give you a particular problem. So, let's say current company, some XYZ company is starting out and they are hiring bunch of technical, or just you are the only technical person.
Okay.
Then they just say, okay, we have to build this. How do you go about researching about which tech stack to choose? So, like, how is your process about like taking a problem, then researching, and then coming up, oh, this could be a possible solution?
So first thing I always ask is the budget. I
Uh-huh.
don't first like whatever is a problem, I'll ask,
Uh-huh.
okay, what's your budget on it?
Mm,
So I have to give them options that, okay, this is how, if at all you want it in this framework, this is the budget. So I kind of do a research on my own side. Okay, this is the problem. I'll try to think that whatever is I know the scale of data we have. If you want to scale this up and if you want to have it automated, then you need to have it invested. Like you need to have more money to invest
mm,
because you want it to be automated for the next coming years. If that's the way the team is there, that's fine. Or else if you want just the problem to be fixed and maintained manually, then you don't need to have the cost to it.
mm,
It's just about the software subscriptions. That's your budget. That's it.
mm,
Now there are startups where everything revolves around tech. So you have to figure out which business you're in. Like I'm in a business where tech is enabling them to do business. That's it.
okay.
So it's not like it's revolving around tech. So we sell actual physical products. We don't sell softwares or things. Now to maintain that actual physical products, you need tech.
And then if they finalize one thing, then do you go to Udemy or Coursera to take up a course, or how?
Yeah, just Google things on YouTube. You have stuff. There are actually lots there. Like you can
And then
just
what?
Google things. A lot of tutorials. A lot of people sharing their knowledge. And I'm more than a visual guy. I'm more of a like I like to read blogs.
Okay.
So I kind of read a lot. And a lot of people have written their whole project workflow.
Mm.
So they have written how the project started, what problem they were solving, and the same thing I'm trying to involve, like put the same framework.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I read it from someone who would have been in the industry for 10 years.
Yes.
But at least in when you have a tutorial written, very few people read such a long blog post. They would have written very raw, honest kind of blogs. And I just kind of put it into my database.
Mm,
And I say, okay, all these are the problems they're solving. Actually, I have set of things based on the problems. I kind of categorize my folder.
mm,
As of today, I don't have anything to solve. But
right.
I know that moving 10 years, I have to come back and say, okay, that's a marketing problem and that's a product problem or that's
Mm.
a sales problem. And there are folders there already there. Like I'm just preparing for my next roles too. Okay.
One way which I would like to think about Ireland is not more of data side of things, but more of Ireland can become the headquarter for the US based companies for Europe,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
low taxes for the companies
Yeah.
to do business, ease of doing business, and English speaking. Yeah, I think those three things, and talent is already there.
Hmm.
Uh, Yeah, that's one thing. And then the pharma market is great in Ireland. So pharmaceutical roles, those are something which, yeah, which are growing and all that. So I mean, I don't think it's just data jobs. Could be the case
Cool.
because now everyone is moving towards ML, moving towards automating things,
Yeah.
and AI is the hot term right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they just advertise it in that sense. But if you look under the hood, maybe you are just automating something and you don't necessarily need AI or training based on some data to do that.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah.
That's
So
that's
I
good.
can develop an agent who can develop an agent whom I
Yeah.
can tell at 8 a.m. Even Siri could be like, for example, if I say, hey Siri, like set an alarm and something, that is automated. I can
Hmm.
automate that. Like it is taking my voice input and automating things. That's an agent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because it is doing on its own and not like there's AI in front of it, and because it's a hot topic, let's put AI in front of an agent. Like that's AI agent, and then
Hmm.
you start jobs and all that. So maybe that could be a thing. Having data and AI and all those terms are right hot right now, so let's
Yeah.
use them and market it that way. Could be the case.
That's true. How do you like? Have you worked on any of these automations as of now, or is it? Are you going to start working?
I want to in corporate, but
Mm-hmm.
haven't worked really. But one thing which I'm working on right now is automating ticket bookings because I
Oh.
usually travel from Galway to Dublin or Galway to multiple counties or somewhere like here and there. So every single time I have to go on the website, log in, select the times, make the payment, and
Hmm.
put the
Got it.
details and everything. So I'm just building an agent which is very fairly simple to just go on the website. I'll just tell him this time. He'll book the tickets for me. That's it.
Hmm.
I don't have to spend 5 minutes on that.
Okay.
And there's always this paranoia going on. Bro, was the date correct? Was the timing correct? Is the written timing correct? I mean, this happens to me whenever I'm on something where I'm booking flights or something. I get paranoid that did you
Okay.
actually
Yeah.
book the
That's
uh,
true.
so yeah, I want to just delegate that side of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's cool.
I would, because I am more of a systems and automations person. Whatever can be systemized, just systemize and just spend your time in creative thinking. That's it. Even on the
Okay.
channel and stuff, everything is systemized. There is a system to post, to edit, to do thumbnails, to script, to publish. There's a particular format, how to publish, what happens after the published video goes live, how to
Hmm.
cross promote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like I was working on one of the projects. I don't know if you have heard of this. I think you'd have already heard of
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
software N8.
N8, yeah, N8, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Mm,
I kind of integrate that with Zapier and make and
yeah.
then create a workflow basically based on that.
Nice.
And well, it's not production, like it's not within the company yet, but these are the ideas I've given to the team.
Mm,
So far, what I've done within the team is Zapier and Make. That's like it's going as of now live.
mm,
It's
mm.
all going. No one is maintaining that.
Okay.
Uh,
One thing I was trying to automate was the promotional side of things. Whenever a YouTube video goes out, I want to put up a story on Instagram and post
hmm,
it on Twitter and on LinkedIn with some context. That
yeah.
context can be generated by ChatGPT taking if I feed him the script or the transcript or the subtitles.
Hmm,
So I was like, this can be automated. So like maybe write a makes system or something where the trigger would be whenever a YouTube video is published on this channel,
yeah.
then go to ChatGPT, get the subtitles, get the gist in a particular format, summarize that, then
Hmm.
post it on YouTube as a community, then post it on Instagram as a story, and then post it on whatever as whatever.
A lot of like there's a workflows in Make they do that where I've seen a lot of videos like
Mm,
in Make they just kind of connect into Chat GPT
yeah,
and then connect that to the Instagram and YouTube,
right.
Twitter. It's nice. For me, as long as in tech there are problems to solve, it's
Mm,
interesting. Like you can do your own fun projects and stuff,
mm,
but when it comes back to work, if you don't have problems to solve, then I think then it's like okay. And let's move from now tech and data to personal branding. I know you do YouTube and things. I think this is where and we kind of got connected when you were
right,
doing YouTube and
right.
stuff. So how did you start this? Like because you said me that you were a different kind of guy who was having low self confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and now you are like YouTube, and now you're doing Instagram, and now you're doing workshops, all this.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wanted to start a YouTube channel or Instagram page or something back in 2018. I had a page which was taken down randomly, and then I lost
Hmm.
the whole motivation of rebuilding it, gaining the audience again. But then back last year, I was very much influenced by Ali and even Ranveer, Beer Biceps.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I mean, have been following Ranveer since like 2017 or something around that time, when he was actually have just started YouTube.
Started. Okay.
So I was like, oh, I want to make videos similar to this person, uh,
Hmm.
or like stuff like that. But that didn't happen. And then I came here, and then Ali was recommended to me based on the location, because he was based in
Location.
UK.
Hmm.
So I got to know about his stuff, like he was a doctor, then turned into entrepreneur and all that. I was like, okay, this is cool. Let's try it out. And then I took his like free $1 course on Skillshare, how to start with YouTube thing. And first 3-4 months were just me randomly posting anything about vlogs, resume guide or something, or LinkedIn or something, which I know and which
Hmm.
what works basically. And then for 3-4 months I was doing that, and until then I was not confident enough to post it on Instagram. It was
Hmm.
just me doing YouTube rank, like no one knew about it that I'm doing
Hmm.
YouTube,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
videos were not going viral and all that. So for 6-7 months I was doing that, and then realized that okay, now I'm fairly confident about it. And I was like, okay, let's post something on Instagram that okay, I'm doing YouTube. Then started it. But coming back to your question, like why personal branding and why like YouTube. So in 2017 or 2018, if I would have started, then it would
Hmm.
have been at a very big scale. I don't know. It would,
Yeah.
I mean, could be plus, could be minus. I don't know.
Yes.
And that thing is still there in my mind. Like, what if I would have started early?
Always.
Now, in 10 years down the line, I'm thinking that why didn't I start a YouTube channel? Yeah, so I don't want that in further down the line. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go all in. Let's try it out for a year and see how it works. If it works well, let's continue doing it. If it don't, then just give up. And thankfully, it
Hmm.
worked well, and now I'm enjoying the process. It's not all sorted on my ends. Even I'm figuring out my content pillars, what I want to
Yeah.
talk about and anything like about that. But
Hmm.
mostly I'm talking about moving abroad. But one thing which I believe in is positive self-talk, manifestation, and you can get anything you want, but you have to be ready to put in the efforts, and there has to be a very strong mindset for that. That is my take. And if you like, I want to build an audience or build the YouTube channel in that direction, that you can do anything, you can get anything, but you have to put in the efforts, and you have to like, I mean, work towards it. The second thing is productivity, because I believe I'm highly productive because I'm able to do so many things still being happy. So yeah, these 2-3 things, I guess.
Yeah, I think I would totally agree to that fact because when I see your videos, it's always fresh. I find it kind of inspiring because you start and then you end it in a story format, and it's like you feel positive when you
Yeah.
see your videos. You start with a problem, then you wrap it up together as a whole, and that's where I think that's what you are kind of inspiring me to start new things. I would say it's very interesting to see when people like whom you can resonate with, like it's just different countries
Right.
but it's almost the stories are same,
Right.
like the problems and solutions same, but it's just how you saw it.
Mm,
That's where it differs.
right.
And how did you get better at like this? Again, this can be a very personal question because I'm trying to get into YouTube and this is just
Yeah,
my
yeah,
third
yeah.
episode.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
So like, how did you get better at creating content and like confidence building?
So it's all from, like, if you go back to, it's all there on YouTube. Like if you go to Mr. Beast, he keeps saying, Jimmy shares every single video, try to improve something. Could be editing,
Hmm.
could be sound effects, could be thumbnail, could like anything, lighting, this background, anything. Try to
Hmm.
improve one thing in every single video. So I just
Wow.
stick to that. And then Ali's advice or anyone's advice,
Hmm.
consistency. I mean, like I can't tell you that how consistency work, but it works like a compounding effect. If you post like one video every single week for the entire year, even though you won't get maybe you might not get subscribers, maybe you don't get views or something, but
Mm,
you will feel confident. And because the process takes a lot, like you have to create a video, shoot, like edit a video,
yeah.
think about the title, think about the thumbnail, everything goes on in that, with the pressure of posting on like one single day. For me, it's Friday. So being consistent is very important in this game, and being what you want to deliver. Like as you said that you feel inspired through the videos, that's the exact message which I want to deliver. You learn to
Mm,
talk to people, you learn how to manage, how to live on your own, cook your own thing, manage your day, and personally and professionally both. You'll grow. Whatever you are, you were before coming here, you will 3x, 10x.
mm,
So this is the sacrifice. Are you willing to do it? Yeah, the
yeah.
rewards are very high, even the risk is very high.
Yours
Yeah, the
basically.
choice is yours, but it will change you for good. These 2 years, this 1 year will change you for good. So it also, and then you stick to your own roots. You become very stubborn. You have that strong mindset. There are the two mindset: growth mindset and
Yeah.
strong mindset. So you have like
Hmm.
very strong mindset of this is how things are. This is how things need to be. If that is what you are doing, then no, this is not for you. Wherever you go,
Mm,
even if you are surrounded by very good people, you won't be able to gain their knowledge because your doors are closed. But if you come
that's
here
true.
with an open mindset, with an open door, then I think it would be cool. With
So
that being said,
basically just explore.
yeah, just explore.
Mm,
So if you are not feeling good, or if you are just settling for like, okay, I'm happy with this, you have to be like, you have to be content and everything with what you have right now. But then what next?
that's true.
Exactly. So,
I think in your YouTube videos where you talked about manifestation,
hmm,
I think that's what you're saying
yeah,
about goals. It will happen or it will not, but I think believing that it's going to happen changes it a lot. And again, this is all I learned from your videos.
yeah,
Manifestation
it does,
purely
man.
was
It
from
does.
your videos.
It does.
So
100% works. Um, yeah, the word has become such a thing. I don't know, taboo or something, bro. Manifestation. Everyone is talking about it.
cliche, kind
Cliche.
you say.
Yeah,
Mm,
but if you think about it, prefer to give Google Maps analogy. You want to go somewhere
mm-hmm,
and you don't know how or where you want to go. What would
mm,
you input in the Google Map? What would Google Map show you? Nothing. You will be still at the same place.
true.
But if you are writing down your goals, it's basically like putting down the location. Oh, I want to go here. Then Google Maps will show you multiple paths with the shortest ETA,
Yeah.
longest traffic, like multiple paths. Then you choose. You start walking on a particular path. Let's say there
Mm,
is some block, then it will show you can take this route. But at least you are
yeah.
moving towards that thing.
Towards the destination at
Yeah.
least.
If you don't
It's a good
know where you
analogy. Yeah.
exactly, if you don't know where, just stay there then.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
Just take out one day, any random day. When you wake up, you just don't take your phone. And so I'm not asking you to do meditation or something, but just have a very silent routine. Like wake up, wash your
Mm,
face, brush, breakfast, do yoga or stretching, mobility and all that. I'm big into this these days. So do that. Basically give like an hour's time, uh, and don't take your phone, and then straight away jump to work. And because you're working, you have meetings and everything, you won't
mm.
feel like taking your phone.
Ah, okay.
So I think that's what meditation does, is reduce, like, makes you focus, something like that, and then you can work. But this is what I have observed since
Yeah.
2-3 weeks, since I'm doing that detox thing.
Interesting. If there was one thing you want to change now
Through the whole journey.
through the whole journey now till today, wherever you are, like, do you
Not,
think
not,
you're
not,
happy with this
yeah,
journey?
I'm
Uh,
happy with it. But one thing is not being consistent and not sticking to one thing at a time. I never s- stuck to one thing and
okay.
was consistent for a longer time. When I mean consistent means for 2 years, nothing
Okay.
less than that. For 2 years, you have to be consistent for anything.
Mm, mm,
Then you will
mm.
start to see the results.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point, I would say.
Any creator, even Ali or anyone, like I have Ankur, so they talk the same thing. If after 2 years you don't see any results after being consistent, then we can think about it, like something is going wrong. But by until
Okay.
then, just put in the effort.
So I
Yeah.
think I have read Ankur's books. I like the Do Epic Shit, which are written in very simple language and also
Hmm.
it's so relatable to
Yeah.
our current age.
Yeah.
groups, I would say.
For question and answer. So you don't have to read it cover
Hmm.
by cover. You just open the index. Oh, I'm feeling this problem. Let's go
Yeah,
and search for the answer.
just go and search for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. One last thing is that what is there any book you would like to recommend people to read?
Well, I'll just recommend books to there are two categories, like one who are in the corporate thing. I think Feel Good Productivity, which I recently completed, is good. Ali
Okay.
Abdal's one. If you implement the principles written in that and if you experiment them with yourself. One recent book which is on my wish list is The Dose Effect by TJ Power. He's the neuroscientist and everything. The
Never
exercise
heard.
which he
Okay.
recommended, the same exercise which I'm doing, is the dopamine detox, and it has helped me to feel to help me not to take Instagram and be mindful about the time. So I think that's a great read. And the third book is someone who is in the business space or in the like content creation or who's doing 9 to 5 plus something
Plus
else,
content.
not plus content, but something else like on the side. So for them, this is the book, the buy back your time. This is a
Okay.
really good read because it talks about the SOPs, the standard operating principles and everything. It's really cool because that's how I was able to systemize things on the YouTube channel and delegate and all that. It was recommended by one of my mentors. So yeah.
Wow, that's good. Hope you had good fun then.
I
So,
hope people
uh,
watch until this point. If they are watching, man, you are already crushing it. And yeah,
cool. Anyway, thanks a lot for coming on
thanks, Sai.